What's up, guys? This is Jafar from Duzi Academy, and here we proceed with the exercises on our uh, loop, on the loop. So we took what? We took while loop, and now we are going to apply these things onto these exercises. So starting with our first program, C program to print all natural numbers from 1 to n. We need to write a C program that prints from 1 to n. What are the natural numbers? The numbers that should be, what are the natural numbers? Natural numbers should be always greater than 1. This is the natural number. 1, 2, 3, 4, greater than 0, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know. These are the natural numbers. So we need a program to print these numbers from 1 to n. When you see this n means that is something unknown that is entered by the user. So let's analyze our exercise through our theory here. Starting point, ending point, and the step. Starting point, as we know from here, it will be what? It will be 1. And the ending point will be n. So here from 1 to n. What about the step? Let's go with this strategy, giving an example strategy. You know this, we talked about it. You need to give an example. For example, let's suppose that n was 10. So you need your program to print what? To print what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yes? So you need to, from what you understand it from the problem, you need to print the numbers one by one until you reach 10. So this is quite easy since you saw the example. If you didn't understand, then you need to ask. You need to be clarified about your problem from your lecture or from your manager or whatever. So you need to step you need to add one. Okay, so this is easy enough. We start as we've been taught. We start with this starting point, which is 1. Then we put the condition. The condition, since we are going more than 1, because natural number should what? Should be more than 0, and obviously it should start from 1 and greater than 1. So here, what is my condition? As long as my I is smaller than n, right? I need what? Printf d and I. And of course, I'll put this new line. And here, I plus 1. This is the step. So my starting point is 1, my ending point is n, my step is plus 1. As we analyzed, we wrote. As we analyzed, we wrote. We still have one thing. We need to get this in from the user, right? So here we have this in, then printf is enter in, and here scanf what d n. So for example, give yourself an example before you start to track your program. Your I will start with 1, and let's suppose that n is 3, for example. So here I is compared to what? To 3. I is less than 3, yes. So print I, which is 1, then improve this I or increase this I by 1. So your I will be 2. 2, print this 2 and increase it by 1. Now your I is 3. Print this 3 since it's equal to 3 and increase it by 1. Now it's 4. Then don't print anything. Don't go into this loop. So this is just an example to track your program, and we don't need this. So we are going to make this as a comment. We'll talk later about comments. So here, if I put 10, of course we should put this. Then we get what? 1, 2, 3 until 10. Let's go to the other one. Here, C program to print natural numbers in reverse from n to 1. Now, let's modify this. Now, all of your game is here. If you put these right, you'll get all of your program right. So what is your starting point here? From n now. And until what? Until 1. Now you know n is greater than 0. It can be 1 or greater than 1. So your step to break your loop, what do you want to do? You want to decrease now. For example, if your n is 100, you want to decrease by 1, right? So you need, why by 1, not by 2? Because it says print natural numbers or print all natural numbers, all natural numbers. If it says all even numbers, then you can add by or decrease by 2, because in each two numbers there is an even number, right? We'll talk about this later. Don't confuse yourself. So here, what we should change, now look, i's starting point is 1. Now we need to change this as n. So we need to read n first. We need to read n first, then we put n inside I, right? So what do you want to do here? Then this is your starting point. Now we identify n, we took n from the user, and then we put n as our starting point into I. Okay, then we need to go until what? Until 1. So our starting point will be compared to what? To 1. But this time our starting point should be, as long as it's greater than 1, then proceed. And here our step should be what? Minus. Of course, we should delete this. We should put it as a comment. Now we start, for example, from 12. We get 12, 11, 10, and so forth. So your whole game is here. You need to put your starting point, your ending point, and your step. Now, C program to print alphabets from A to Z. Actually, this depends on the ASCII code we'll talk about it later, and we'll discuss about this ASCII code and how to convert it from character to integer. Let's proceed to the next question. C program to print all even numbers from 1 to n. Now notice that. For example, we'll start from what? From 1 to n. But we don't know anything about the step. Always give an example for the step. So for example, here for n. Always give yourself an example. So for example, here we write example. What is our example? For example, the user enters n as 10. Then I need only to print the even numbers the even numbers from 1 to 10. Now the output should be what? Should be 1? No, I cannot print 1 because it's not even. I'll start from 2, then 3, no, I cannot. 4, 6, and 8, and 10, right? This is from 1 to n, only the even numbers. So how to increase my step? Now notice that my step is increased 2 by 2. 2 by 2. So here I'll put what? Look, from the previous step to the current step we have 2, and from here we have 2, and from here we have 2, and here we have 2. So let's take our starting point here will be what? Will be 1. We return to 1. And then our ending point will be n. And of course here will change. And then we need to add by how much? By 2. Now notice what is going to go wrong with this program. So for example, if we enter 10, look, we started from 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Why did this happen? Because I'll tell you why. Because your initial value is 1, which is incorrect, because here your starting value, your starting point is invalid. We are asking to print all even numbers from 1 to n, but that doesn't mean to start from 1. You have to start from even number. So you start from 2, right? You start from 2 because 1 is not included, as we saw in the example. So you start your initial value from 2. Now try this and put 12, for example. Now you see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So always, even if you use this theory, you need to what? You need to give yourself an example. Immediately give yourself an example. C program to find sum of natural numbers from 1 to n. Okay, let's do this strategy. Let's give ourselves an example. Let's take this away, put this away. Now, what do we understand from this question? Our program will take to find sum of natural numbers from 1 to n, will take n from the user. Our program will take n from the user. After that, it will sum up from 1 until n. What does this mean? Let's give an example. For example, if your n, if the user enters 4, then your program will do this. Your sum will be what? Will be from 1 to 4, will be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. For example, and of course the result will be saved in sum. So 3 plus 3 is 6, and you have 4, you have 10 here. For example, if your n is 3, then you omit this and you get 7. If your this is 5, here you have what? You have 4 and you have 5, so you get 15. And then your output will be what? Will be 15. This is your output. How to do this? First of all, we need to go from 1. We need to start from where? From 1. This is easy. From 1 to what? To n, right? What about the step? We need to sum up the numbers between them. Look at the numbers. Are they jumping 2 steps or 3 steps or 1 step? 1 step, of course. So 1 step. So here you go. Our problem is solved. So your integer will start from 1 to n. Now we need something called sum. So this sum will be equal to 0. This is your sum. Your sum will be like this. What does this mean? The same as this mean. So your sum now, for example, your n is 5. For example, your I started with 1. 1 is less than 5. So here your sum will be what? Sum, your initial value for sum is 0. Now will be what? Will be 0, 0. Your sum will be 0 plus I is started with what? With 1. With 1. Then your sum what? Sum now is what? 1. Right? Then, of course, here, as we dealt, that our I should be increased by 1. Then your I will be what now? I started with 1. Now your I is 2. 2. Is it less than 5? Yes, it is. Now your sum plus I, which is 2. Your sum is what now? Your sum is 1, because we increased. And plus 2. Plus 2 is what? Should be 3. 3. Now your I is what? Your I is 3 because it increased. Now your 3 is less than 5. Here your sum should be 3, which is 3 from the last process. It's 3 plus I, which is 3. You see, I is 3 and your sum is 3. So plus 3, you'll get what? 6. Then here I will be 4. 4 is less than what? Less than 5, of course. Then 5 plus 4 plus 6 will be what? 10. Then again, your I now is 5. 5 is equal to 5. Then sum will be 10. 10, which is the last sum, plus 5. So you'll get 15. So this is a process whenever you want to add, to sum up sequence of numbers, you use this formula. You need this formula make you able to add the last result to the current result. If you save another result, for example, salary from last year or from last day, and you want to add it to the current day, salary of the current day, you just need to use this formula. This is the last day, or this is the sum, and this is the salary of the day. So you will add to this sum the salaries of all the days. This sum will be updated every time your while will be executed. These are just examples. Of course, here you need to make this comment. Okay, so let's put 5. Of course, we didn't print. Now, for printing sum, we need to print the value of sum. If we put the printf here, it will be a mistake. Why? Now we need to track our program before we go for any step. Here we need to print sum. So for example, the first time your sum will be 0 plus 1 will be 1. Your sum will be 1. Now your program will print 1 and then add again, and your sum will be 3. Your program will add it, will print 3 again. So your program will add all the sum, will print all the sum operation. Oh, sorry. This is we need to put for example, okay, first time your sum was 1, then 3, then 6, then 10, then this is the last value I need, which is 15. I need only this. I don't want the details. So what I do is to print sum after all the operation finished. So after your sum will be last updated as 15, you print the final sum as this. You see? So after finishing summing up, you will go and print the sum. Okay guys, so this is enough inshallah for our while loop exercises, and I'll upload some of the exercises for you to practice on. Hope to see you in the next lessons. Thanks for listening. I appreciate your time. Thank you.